The Baillieu government has unveiled a $1 billion plan to expand the Port of Melbourne, including a new container terminal at Webb Dock. It estimates the project will create more than 2,500 jobs by the time it's completed in 2016. But critics warn the area won't be able to cope with the traffic congestion.
Australia's busiest container port is bursting at the seams. It's already handling 2.5 million containers a year, and trade is expected to double over the next decade.
If we don't do this work, then the Port of Melbourne will run out of capacity in a few years' time.
The $1.2 billion redevelopment includes a new container terminal at Webb Dock, as well as upgrades to the 2 existing terminals at Swanson Dock. The government estimates the project will create 2,600 jobs. It'll be funded by the Port of Melbourne and the private sector, with the operator of Webb Dock to be chosen by a competitive tender. The government hasn't released any estimates on how much truck traffic will increase on the M1 freeway as a result of the port expansion, but it says it's confident worsening congestion won't be a problem. It says dedicated freeway ramps will be built, linking the M1 directly to the port and keeping trucks off Williamstown Road. Trucks will also be discouraged from travelling in peak hour.
So the trucks will be guided onto the M1 in off-peak, so we can maximise the use of that great transport facility with minimal disruption to current traffic.
Well, that's just spin and nonsense. This will be an on-ramp onto the M1, an on-ramp to gridlock.
We used to have a railway line that went into Webb Dock in the 80s, and in the 90s the state government pulled it out. So, you know, we've gone backwards in terms of getting freight on rail. That's the solution, not more trucks on our streets.
The government has hinted the Port of Melbourne upgrade could kill off its proposal to relocate car imports and exports to Geelong.
The car trade have indicated they would prefer to stay in Melbourne, and there are some issues in terms of land availability in Geelong.
And although the government's talking up the Port of Melbourne's credentials, it insists there are no plans for privatisation, despite warnings of a tough state budget next week. Frances Bell, ABC News, Melbourne.